Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thanks for joining. So, I'm going to continue the journey on building the data driven web application using AWS Cloud Services. But this time, I'm going to use Claude Code to build the application from scratch. In the past few weeks, I had been building this web application using AWS Cloud Services by hand. So I had built the middle layer first, then I had built the back end, and then I built the front end, and then eventually I had done end-to-end testing of the whole thing. It kind of gave me different perspective how AWS services integrate with each other. But I also wanted to build the same thing using Cloud Code and see how different it is versus building with hand. So what I'm trying to build is I'll just show you what I'm going to build. So the web application is really a form for my community's pickleball social events RSVP, and so it is simple form, and it has fields like phone number, name, skill level, indicator for bringing a guest or no, and then a place for notes. And there's the image up there on the field. So this is exactly how the form is going to look like. And then there's a register now button, and then it will and then the form will submit the data. Data will be stored in a database for me or one of our admins to go and look at who has RSVP'd and the attributes of their RSVP, things like that. So that is the intention of building this. And the architecture will be like this. Let me go back. So it starts with the end user, and the end user is going to click on a URL that will be hosted on CloudFront, and then the website will be hosted on S3, and which will be integrated with the API gateway, which in turn calls the Lambda when the form is submitted, and then the Lambda kind of pushes the data to DynamoDB, and then the response is sent back from Lambda to the front end to confirm if the data was submitted successfully or not. So this is what I had built, but I'm going to give prompts to Claude Code and see what architecture it comes up with, and what it builds. So stay tuned. All right, so let's start with the hands-on part of this. So this Visual Studio Code, and I have a terminal open. I have the folder already, and then I have images folder within my working directory, and it's called picklesocial.png. So that's that hero image up there that we want on the web page. And I'm going to start Claude, and takes a minute for it to get started. All right, so we have our Claude started, and so now let's go to plan mode, and then we will ask Claude to kind of build out. Um, then we'll start prompting Claude here. So global social, and minimal code should use questions. Okay, now let's see. I didn't mention anything about storing the data into database. Let's say if it's asking, if it's going to ask clarifying questions or not. So it is off to doing things that it's going to do, and you can see different commands it's trying to implement here. I mentioned that all the files need to be stored here and not somewhere else. Okay, so now it's asking questions. So it has all this is RSV field, data storage, AWS account, domain, and then submit. So what information do you need to collect? So name, yes, we want name. So we'll pick that. And then we want email. Then we want email, the guest count, yes. And then we want skill level, beginner, intermediate, advanced. And we want, let's say, dietary restrictions. And so those are the fields that we want. And now data storage, now what do we need? So now it's suggesting email, AWS DynamoDB, or both. So we'll select DynamoDB only here in this case. And a AWS account, do you have AWS account? Yes. Ready to deploy, account exists, credentials available. So in this case, I'm already logged into AWS CLI. So let's see if it's able to use. So we'll just select that. And domain, now do we need to do custom domain, do you have to buy domain, or do you want AWS generated URL? So in our case, we'll just use AWS generated URL. So we'll pick that. And so we are ready to submit all the answers. Okay, now we submitted all the answers. Now let's see what design or plan it comes up with. Okay, now it is checking to see if CLI is installed or not. So let me give permission to run. Okay, check Python version is available. So let's do that. Okay, so it's already thinking of creating kind of AWS serverless RSVP. So it is thinking RSVP, so which is a good sign. Okay, so it's, here it says users specified all the files must stay in the version working, and then it's designing the architecture. And I think it helps that I'm building something from ground up, so like a greenfield application, not something that I'm trying to improve on. So this is, I'm thinking, more simpler use case versus something that cloud would have to learn what it is and then kind of update it, is what I'm thinking. Okay, so design AWS server, so that is done. The architecture is clear. Now let me write down the final plan. So it is updating as it is making progress. I guess roughly it has been 3 minutes so far. So okay, so now it is okay. So it is trying to create, and do I need to create a markdown file? The final plan. I just say yes. Okay, so it did write down markdown the plan, but in a different folders. But let's open that and see what it is. Okay. So if you look at this, it gives context, and then it gives architecture about, and says so Lambda DynamoDB. Okay, so it is strictly using Lambda and DynamoDB. Global access, so it's still going to use that. So it is not trying to use our S3 based website, but let's see. And it should use this. So no file request, HTML form, and Lambda handler. Okay, creating the diagram. So this is kind of the CLI steps. Okay, and this is the DynamoDB table schema. Okay, I wonder why it is asked. Okay, so zip size for the Lambda, and then it's going to do verification. So it has its plan. So let's see if it works for our purpose or not. So let's go ahead and exit the plan. Okay, so now it is asking to build the Lambda function. So you can say yes, close this. Okay, now you want to create deploy.sh. So yes, go for it. Okay, so now it is going to run a couple of the commands. Okay, all right, so I had to prompt it again to kind of exactly show me the account it's going to run. Okay, so it did show the account. Yes, it looks like account is good. Account number and the user ID. This is the user ID that I had set up my CLI. Okay, so you can say to test. Okay, it's going to yes. Okay, so here it shows the things that it's doing. So role created, DynamoDB policy, and okay, so zip isn't available. I guess it's not installed on my machine, so it's going to use compress archive, and then it's trying to push the code there. So we'll just say yes. So it's trying to upload the image and load the Lambda function code. Okay, so we have the Lambda function zip, Lambda function code, and the deploy script. So everything is kind of created here. And okay, we'll just say yes. So this is the deploy script here. So it is going to use US East 1. Okay. So it is running all this So if we examine the deploy.sh, okay, so deployment is complete, RSVP is live. So before, so it is saying first load may take 2-3 seconds, and you should be able to opening there. You should see the pickle in the RSVP form. You're on the list, and then checking the submission you can do. So it is showing all the steps that you can do to validate and just to examine this, what it is trying to do. So um, so these are all the things that it had done to build out our application. So that's what it is showing in deploy.sh. So in this case seems to be pretty straightforward, just the lambda and bunch of roles and the dynamodb, and then it's uploading everything for to build that url. So let's go ahead and check out the url that it has provided. So let me copy the url here, control c, control v here. Let's see what it does. Okay, forbidden. Oh, wrong URL. Uh, okay, I guess I'll add it. Okay, maybe feed the message back. Okay, so it's check the policy. Okay, okay, right, giving permission for that command. So it is doing something with this. So let me remove and re-add the permission with correct form. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. Yeah, the function is active. Forbidden issue with the function is known as AWS quirk. So add permission is a specific call. So it did all of this. So let's see what is able to do. Okay, so this policy is correct. Let's go. Okay, so it did get 403 for its test. Okay, okay, right. It's doing further checking. Okay, so it is doing some more checking. Let's see. The lambda itself works perfectly, returns 200. The 403 is purely at a function level. So it is checking. Okay, so it's saying use API gateway. So let's use API gateway. Okay. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, so it's creating the integration. Okay, so adding permissions. Okay, so it's going to do that curl test again. So let's see. Okay, so your form is accessible. So now it has a URL. So let's go ahead and check. Control C. And this URLs didn't work. So let's go ahead and try this. Okay, there we go. So we have our form working. So it took a try, but now you can see there's a image up there and the fields up there. So let me try. Number of gas, 3. Skill level, okay, so 1 skill level. So restrictions, and let me RSVP here. Okay, so you're on the list, see you on the code. So it's successfully kind of updated. So let me go ahead, log into DynamoDB and check, see if it added there. So, or better yet, let me ask Claude to see if it, okay, let me see if it gets all the entries, and then we can examine. Okay, so let's go ahead. So it is going to scan pickle RSVP and gives the region. So this is the commands writing, executing. Okay, so it gave, okay, so we have all this we just entered. So let's try one more. And then skill level, let's pick pro. Okay, and we can say vegetarian food only. That's RSVP. So it said you are on the list. Wish it could say with the name so that you know which one it is, the form submission is. So let's go ahead and see if it can get me the entries for the list. Okay. All right. So now we have in this tabular format, it has this two entries that we created. So pretty slick. You don't have to log into AWS even to do anything. Just interact with Claude. You of course have to configure your AWS CLI to connect to your account, but that's how it is. So just give me a second, and then we can go examine to AWS console as well. All right. So this is my AWS account. So we'll go look at DynamoDB first and look at the table here. Now we're looking for pickle RSVP, right? So let's go ahead and look at tables. Okay, we have pickle RSVP and we can click on, and then we can explore table items, and then it shows the two that we created, right? So it's right there. Now let's go ahead and look at Lambda. And so it created, okay, let's see, last modified 11 minutes ago. So pickle RSVP. So this is the Lambda function that it created. Yes, this is the one it created. Look at, so HTML is kind of inbuilt into, so there is no separate HTML to upload to S3, anything like that. So you have that. Now let's go ahead and look at API gateway. Okay. So this is the one that it had created. Okay. Okay. And this is the invoke URL. So let's check if that was the one we used. Yes, it is 5x4. So this was the invoke URL. So these are the resources created. It's a kind of different design, but the outcome is the same. But it was pretty quick. Claude was able to build this. I'm sure you can delete the resources you created using this, but I'm going to use it for RSVP for my pickleball social event and then see how it goes. But thank you. Thanks for watching. If there is any suggestions, feedback, feel free to share and send it my way. Thank you.